Your pain is not your prison, it's your platform. Welcome to the Soft Girl Era podcast, where we unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom we deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft and loving every second of it. Today, I want to share something that came from a powerful conversation I had with Jasmine Mapp, a visionary who is making the world a better place by showing Black women entrepreneurs that their stories aren't just testimonials, they're blueprints, they're weapons of transformation. They're the very foundation upon which empires are built. Jasmine Mapp is redefining what it means to build legacy, community, and empire in a world that told us we had to do it all alone. And what she shared with me during our interview shook me to my core. Because it challenges everything we've been taught about success, about hustle, about what it takes to win. So let me ask you something. How many of us have been told that if we just work harder, grind longer, and sacrifice more, which we'll finally make it? How many of us have been sold the lie that entrepreneurial success is a solo sport? That if we just put our heads down and push through the pain, we'll break through the barriers? We've been taught that grit is the only currency that matters. That resilience means never showing weakness. That strength is measured by how much we can carry, how much we can endure, how much we can survive. But here's what Jasmine Mapp taught me. And here's what I want you to hear today. That's not the whole story. In fact, it's not even the most powerful part of the story, because while grit matters, while resilience matters, while hard work absolutely matters, the real game changer, the real secret weapon that Black women entrepreneurs are using to build empires that outlast, outperform, and outshine traditional models is this: turning personal pain into communal power. Let me say that again. Turning personal pain into communal power. Your story, your struggle, your survival, it's not just inspiration. It's not just something to share at brunch or post on social media when you're feeling vulnerable. Your story is a strategic asset. It's a tool, it's a bridge, it's the thing that builds unbreakable community ties and attracts opportunities that others are chasing endlessly and never catching. Your story is your superpower. And this is where everything shifts, because we've been taught that our pain is private, that our wounds are weaknesses, that our struggle should be hidden behind the mask of the strong Black woman who never breaks, never bends, never asks for help. But Jasmine Mapp and the women she represents, they're flipping that script. They're saying, no, my pain is not my prison. My pain is my platform. My story is not my shame. My story is my strength. And when I share it, when I own it, when I use it to connect with others who've walked similar paths, I don't just build a business, I build a movement. I don't just create wealth, I create legacy. Let me take you back in time for a moment. Let me tell you about a woman named Sarah Breedlove. You might know her better as Madam C.J. Walker, born in 1867, orphaned young, married at 14, widowed with a daughter, working as a washerwoman, scrubbing clothes for pennies while her own hair fell out from stress, from poor nutrition, from the weight of survival. She had every reason to give up, every reason to believe that her story was one of limitation, of lack, of loss. But Sarah didn't see her story that way. She saw her pain, her hair loss, her struggle, and she asked herself a different question. What if my pain could become someone else's solution? What if my story could become someone else's ladder? And in 1905, she developed a line of hair care products specifically for Black women. Products that worked, products that healed, products that restored not just hair, but dignity, pride, self worth. She built a sales network of thousands of Black women, giving them jobs, giving them independence, giving them economic power in a world that told them they had no value. By 1919, Madam C.J. Walker was a millionaire, the first self made female millionaire in U.S. history. But here's what matters most: she didn't just build wealth for herself, she created wealth for thousands of Black women. She funded the NAACP, she funded scholarships, she revolutionized an entire industry. And it all started with her willingness to turn her personal pain into communal power. Her story wasn't just hers, it became ours. It became a blueprint, it became a legacy that still empowers us today. Fast forward to 2018. A young Black woman named Amira Rasul is looking at the fashion industry and seeing a gap. She's seeing Black owned brands, African designers, talented creators who can't get their products online because the digital tools aren't built for them. Why? Because the funding isn't available, because the doors are closed. She could have said, that's just the way it is. She could have accepted the barriers. But instead, she took $30,000, her own money, and launched The Folklore, a digital commerce platform designed specifically to help Black owned and African fashion brands sell online. The challenges were real: raising funds as a young Black woman in tech, convincing investors that underserved markets were worth the investment, bootstrapping through skepticism and rejection. But Amira didn't quit. She pitched, she persisted, she built. And by 2024, she had raised over $6 million. dollars. She was featured on Forbes 30 Under 30. She became the youngest Black woman to raise over $1 million dollars in pre seed funding. And more importantly, she democratized online sales for Black entrepreneurs, boosting industry visibility, creating economic inclusion, proving that when you turn your insight, your story, your vision into action, you don't just change your life, you change the game for everyone coming after you. And then there's what's happening right now in Minneapolis, in St. Paul, in cities across this country. Black women entrepreneurs are redefining what business even means. They're not just chasing profit, they're prioritizing wellness, they're building community, they're emphasizing collaboration, intergenerational mentorship, social impact. They're saying, we're not going to play by the old rules anymore. We're not going to sacrifice our mental health for a corner office. We're not going to abandon our values for a bigger paycheck. We're going to build businesses that reflect who we are, that honor where we come from, that create space for the next generation to thrive. And guess what? It's working. Women founded nearly half of all new US businesses in 2024. That's a 69% increase since 2019. And Black women are leading that charge, not by working harder, not by grinding longer, but by redefining success, by embracing flexibility, by protecting their peace, by building empires that are rooted in purpose, not just profit. They're proving that you can honor your mental health and still build wealth. You can set boundaries and still break barriers. You can rest without guilt and still rise with power. So here's what Jasmine Mapp taught me. And here's what I want you to take with you today: three things, three truths, three keys that will unlock the door to your soft girl era empire. First, stories are your superpower. Your amazing story, the one you've been hiding, the one you've been ashamed of, the one you think makes you weak. That story is not a liability. It's a strategic asset. It builds unbreakable community ties. It attracts opportunities. It creates connection. It turns strangers into supporters, customers into advocates, followers into family. Stop hiding your story. Start owning it. Start sharing it. Start using it to build the empire you were born to create. Because when you share your truth, you give someone else permission to share theirs. And that's how movements are born. Second, wellness fuels empires. Prioritizing mental health, setting boundaries, creating flexibility, protecting your peace. These are not luxuries. They're not indulgences. They're not signs of weakness. They're the edge. They're the advantage. They're the reason Black women entrepreneurs are outlasting traditional models and reshaping entire industries. Because when you take care of yourself, when you honor your needs, when you say no without guilt and rest without explanation, you don't burn out. You build up, you don't collapse, you compound, you don't survive, you thrive, and your business thrives with you. Third, legacy over profit. True success is not just about the money in your bank account. It's about the impact you make. It's about the doors you open. It's about the wealth you create for others. It's about intergenerational empowerment. It's about building something that outlives you, that empowers thousands, that changes the trajectory of entire communities. Just like Madam C.J. Walker, just like Amira Rasul, just like the Black women entrepreneurs in the Twin Cities who are rewriting the rules right now. They're not just building businesses, they're building legacies that will echo for generations. This is what Jasmine Mapp is teaching us. This is what the soft girl era is all about. It's not about being weak. It's not about giving up. It's not about lowering your standards or shrinking your dreams. It's about being strategic. It's about being intentional. It's about being soft in a world that taught you survival and using that softness as your strength. It's about dropping the cape and picking up the crown. It's about saying no without guilt. It's about resting without explanation. It's about building legacies that empower thousands. So I want to leave you with this. I want you to sit with this question. I want you to feel it. I want you to let it burn inside you until you can't ignore it anymore. What's the amazing story burning inside you that's waiting to launch your empire? What's the pain you've been hiding that could become someone else's power? What's the struggle you've survived that could become the blueprint for someone else's breakthrough? Will you tell it boldly today? Will you own it? Will you use it? Will you watch it transform your legacy? Because here's the truth. Your story is not just yours, it's ours. It's the key that unlocks the door for the next generation. It's the ladder that lifts up the women coming behind you. It's the blueprint that redefines what's possible. And when you share it, when you own it, when you build your empire on the foundation of your truth, you don't just change your life, you change the world. Your pain is not your prison, it's your platform. Your wound is not your weakness, it's your weapon. Your story is not your shame, it's your strength. And the world is waiting for you to step into that truth with boldness, with courage, with unapologetic softness. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting until you feel ready. Because the truth is, you will never feel completely ready, but you are already enough. You are already worthy. You are already powerful. And your story, your beautiful, messy, complicated, triumphant story, is already changing lives. Even if you haven't shared it yet, this is your invitation. This is your moment. This is your soft girl era where you unlearn survival and rediscover softness, where you drop the cape and pick up the crown, where you say no without guilt, rest without explanation, and build legacies that empower thousands. And it all starts with you. It all starts with your story. It all starts today. Now go out there and turn your pain into power. Turn your story into strategy. Turn your struggle into a movement because the world doesn't need another version of someone else. The world needs the truest, softest, most powerful version of you. And she's been waiting long enough.